All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Morning Pass Rush Show, episode 1, 2, 4. So, on this episode, we have the NFC West that we're about to talk about. And without further ado, we have four guests, actually three right now, but one's on the way, got stuck in traffic. So, we all know him as the Jets, Jalen in the house.
Yo, what up?
Mr. Giggles over there, you guys all know that laugh by now. The Colts.
Yo, gang,
We got
the best GM in the house,
oh god.
Mr. Carter.
We also got the Vikings in the building.
Was good.
And then we're pending Buffalo Bills coming in. So there's a lot of traffic right now. Trying to make his way back. He had one too many Modelas. So that's probably why he's running behind. But yeah, let's get right into it. Turn off this ad. Activate the NFC West. And we got the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers currently are sitting at 10-1. Surprising or not? That is the question. So we're gonna have Minnesota break them down real quick. Hopefully Buffalo gets in by the time that he's done with his portion. If not, I will take over. But Vikings, your floor.
I'll start by saying I'm not surprised by this 10-1 record from the Niners. They were playoff contenders last season, and that roster is still intact. And it's pretty hard to lose games with this roster. I mean, it's one of the best in the NFL for sure. I'm pulling it up right now. You got guys like Fred Warner, 99 overall, Nick Bosa, 99 overall, George Kittle, 98, Nick Chubb, 97, Tre'Davious White. I mean, I'm counting like 10 guys in the 90s, and then there's a bunch more in the high 80s. And this roster's constructed to go win a Super Bowl right now. I think it will be interesting when the offseason comes. I'm looking at it here. They're going to have to pay Nick Chubb. I don't know if they can money wise. Brock Purdy's going to need a contract. And hold on, let me pull up there how much they're going to have next year. They're going to have $7.34 million left next year. So that's it's going to be tough to pay these guys. So they're going to have to start making some decisions. Nick Chubb, probably not going to be able to re-sign him. Probably going to have to look somewhere else at quarterback. Oh, I forgot they have Malik Willis. They won't have to re-sign Brock Purdy. But let's go through their roster real quick and see. Give an overall grade for it. They have Malik Willis. He's a X Factor 82 overall, young quarterback. He started out with the Browns. Now he wasn't very good there. Now he's living in paradise with the 49ers. He's back up into one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I would call him elite myself. We can have that debate later. They have Nick Chubb at running back. Like I said, they're going to have to pay him. He needs a new contract coming up. But looking at some of their backups, there's some guys that they could be developing right now. I know Elijah Mitchell, he's getting a little older, but still could get some quality years out of him. They have a rookie or a second-year player named Jaquinta Jackson. He's 89 speed, but 93 acceleration, 91 agility. He's a pretty shifty guy. I would probably look to start developing him, knowing that Nick Chubb is going to be gone, most likely. Looking at the fullback position, they have Cameron Latu. That's a tight end playing fullback, but 6'5", 73 overall. He's in his third year, probably set there. At wide receiver, they have Brandon Ayuk, and after that, it kind of falls off a cliff as far as overall goes. They have Kobe Prentice and Isaiah Bond and Tyler Scott. Those are kind of their guys that are usable after Brandon Ayuk, and they're all fast and with good acceleration, but their overalls are low. But they are Kobe Prentice and Isaiah Bond are both rookies, so if they can get them developed a little bit more, I'd say that both of these guys will develop nicely into at least feasible wide receivers. Looking at the tight end position, you got George Kittle. I mean, can't get much better there. He is getting a little older, so I expect some regression to come out of him. But even with regression, I mean, he is one of the best tight ends in the league. Looking at their O-line, they drafted Joe Alt 2 years ago. He's already up to an 86 overall. So they definitely hit on that pick. He's got 92 pass block and 90 pass block finesse and 88 pass block power. That's a great left tackle to protect your franchise guy. Looking at left guard, they have another guy out of Notre Dame named Aaron Banks. He is a 78 overall, definitely not as good, but definitely feasible. At center, they have Mitch Morse. He is old. I mean, they're going to have to look to replace him soon. And they have a rookie behind him, but he's a 66 overall, and he hasn't played this year. So it doesn't look like they're going to try to develop him. Maybe they can look in free agency, maybe look for a trade, or maybe look in the draft for a center, but that is a position of need. They have rookie DJ Campbell at right guard. He's a 73 overall. I think these rookie O-linemen, as long as you can make sure you don't get sacked in your games, they kind of just take care of themselves as far as development goes. So anytime you have a rookie that is around a 75, I tend to go ahead and play them. So I think they're good there at right guard. And they have another rookie at right tackle who's a 76 overall. And like I said, they kind of develop themselves as long as you can keep your quarterback's jersey clean. So a relatively young offensive line, actually a very young offensive line. They have 3 rookies, and then Mitch Morse at center. He is old, but so they'll have to try and find someone to replace him. Going to the defense at left end, they have JT. I'm not even going to try and say that, but he's a second-year player, already at a 78 overall. With 81 strength, that's okay. I'd like to see that a little bit higher. But for a pass rush guy, it's not the worst. At right end, they have one of the best in the league, if not the best, Nick Bosa, 99 overall X Factor. I mean, what more can you say about this guy? 99 finesse moves, 93 block shed. This guy, I mean, he's a game wrecker. They're set for as long as they can keep him signed at right end. Looking at defensive tackle, they're playing Javon Hargrave. He's an 81, and he also is getting a little bit old. But after that, it kind of falls off a cliff. He's playing Robert Beal out of Georgia at a 63 overall, but a 90 speed. So he's looking maybe to use him as a spy guy, which I think is smart. And they also have a rookie, 78 overall, named Walter Nolan. And if I was him, I would definitely be playing that rookie instead of Javon Hargrave to go ahead and try and develop him. Looking at the middle linebacker position, Fred Warner. I mean, another 99 X Factor. I mean, doesn't get much better than that. You got one of the best linebackers in the league, if not the best linebacker in the league, and you get to user that guy. They also have rookie Dennis Simmons joining him at the other middle linebacker slot. He has 94 speed out of a rookie that's 6'2". That's the perfect guy to go ahead and develop. So I'd say they're set there at the linebacker position. At cornerback, they have Charvarius Ward, 91 overall, Tre'Davious White, 93, Kalen King, 84. I don't know how to say that. Lenore, 83 overall, and 76 overall. So that's a pretty stacked cornerback room right there. Tre'Davious White and Charvarius Ward are both getting a little older, but they have very formidable backups in there. I mean, all three of their backups are guys that could be starting on just about any other team. And so I'd say they're set there at cornerback. They also have a rookie playing free safety, 79 overall, 93 speed. Just this guy killed the draft. I mean, just another great draft pick. He's set at free safety for a long time. And he also has Talanoa Hufanga at strong safety. That's one of the top strong safeties in the league. Strong safety is a hard position to fill. You see a lot of teams just putting an older cornerback that's kind of slowed down, lost a step in at strong safety. So when you got a guy who's a true strong safety and as good as Hufanga is, you can't ask for much better than that. I'd say that this team is not just set up for this year. I think this team will be able to survive losing the couple guys that they're going to lose in free agency due to salary cap issues. And I think they're going to be a playoff threat this year, next year, and moving on for a long time.
You done with your stuff?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm Coach Door. How you guys doing? I'm the 49ers GM. I got 25.47 mil available. I got bounced out of the championship round. Yeah, it happens. But this year, I'm coming back stronger. The asshole that took me out is no longer in the league. He wanted to cry about sub linebackers and wanted to be a little bia. Hey, my toughest competition left. Now I'm the king of the NFC. So with that being said, this team is stacked. 84 overall. They have all the pieces that they need. They're pretty much all young, but they are set and built to win right now. A lot of key pieces got to get re-signed. Not sure if they're gonna if that 25.47 mil is gonna stretch that far. If he's able to pull that off some way somehow, credit to him. But I don't see it happening. Obviously, we're gonna lose Brock Purdy on our off our books, so that's gonna save us a lot of money, even though he's in a rookie contract. Nick Chubb, I'm gonna trade the crap out of him right before the offseason kicks off. Get potentially a top two round draft pick for him, and I'm starting Davis Price. Guy is 24 years old, 90 speed, 94 excel. he's ready to go. Jackson, build him up for one more season. Spell him at halfback for a bit. Let him get some reps in there. At tight ends, George Kittle. He's been trying to trade him. No buyers yet. Latu and Bartholomew, both set to go. I don't see any need for tight ends in the draft. George Kittle can get them a draft pick, maybe mid to late round. Wide receivers, this is what we got to attack. Yeah, we got youth, we got speed, but we don't have the overall. So either we're putting players in training camp during the season so they can get better real quick, or we're doing something wrong. Kobe Prentice should be one of the targets. Same thing with Bond. Both of them are 20 and 21. You can easily use those guys in the slot as they're 5'10", 5'11". But you need to get some tall boys in there. Like right now, you got people that can't even ride a Six Flags, Great America type of, what do you call it, roller coaster. The height requirement is 6'1" and above. So they only got one person in that team that can ride those rides. Offensive line, he's pretty much set except for center. But he does have some key young pieces in the back burner, ready to go. So we'll see what the development looks like. Defensive line, Hargrave, trade bait, trade him, get rid of him. Unless you want to keep him and hold on to that contract. Hopefully he retires at the end of the season, but if not, you got a couple key players back there. I saw this 21-year-old rookie, Walter Nolan, 90 strength. Devon Hargraves only has 87. So right there, you already have the quick replacement. 2 points differential or 11-year age gap. That's a no-brainer. Walter Nolan should have been starting from the get-go. Hargraves should have been the second DT on that roster. Not sure if that happened, but that's the way I would have played it out. Linebackers, a whole bunch of speed. All you can say about this team. The only one that's not above 84 speed is Javier Hurst, but he is 21 years old. Like I said, speed is the hardest thing to build. So with him, I'm not sure why we're holding on to him, but in my opinion, that was a bust on the draft. Secondary, can't say too much about this. All the top players in the league are in defense right here. 91 overall corner, 90 overall safety, 87 overall corner, 82 overall corner, 80 overall corner. Like, bro. And then on top of that, he's got a whole bunch of young pieces too, 25 and under. So they're pretty much built to win. And I mean, if I was to give this team a grade, I'll give him an A, not an A+ yet. Until he takes the next step to the Super Bowl. If he gets there at the end of the season, then hey, he's an A+ user. But until then, he's gonna be an A-rated team. So that is my stint with this 49ers team. Let's see who we're going to next. The LA Rams. Wow, wow, wow. We have something to talk about on the next podcast that we're about to have on the game that they just played. Very impressive team. And we're going to have the Colts start this off, followed by the Vikings.
All right. So before the season, expectations were low. We just fired our old head coach old head coach. He wasn't doing his thing, honestly. It was really a disaster. The moves that he wanted to make, the way he had his players come out on the field, sometimes it literally looked like they just weren't prepared, like they weren't practicing. like they didn't have a game plan, and our record showed. Unfortunately, although we had a bad record due to a poor trade, we couldn't even have our first round pick. So we were really in a bad position. We definitely need some change. Picked up the phone. A lot of coaches obviously wanted a job. Uh, we we just we obviously scouted. We looked at who was willing to. I mean, because obviously this is going to be a process. Who was going to be willing to take their time with the team? Understood that it was a project, and we contacted Mr. Thick Peppa Pig. Um, we felt like he was the perfect guy for it. We still weren't expecting immediate results, um, but his idea on what he expected of this team and where he thought this team could be fit ours. So we started the season with this head coach. Record wise, honestly, wasn't expecting a lot of wins. Probably a lottery team, which was fine with me. We had the Cardinals in the division. We had the 49ers in the division. 49ers, a team that just made an NFC championship game. As stated before, the team that they lost to is not in the playoffs. The 49ers were heavy favorites this year. Cardinals, although they slacked off at the beginning of the year, we had them at least 10 wins, uh, 11 wins, 12 wins, which would have us outside of the division, which outside of the playoffs as well. Um, we do have the New England draft pick this year, um, and we have our own draft pick. So beginning of the year, we're probably looking for at least probably two top five, if not top 10 draft picks. However, we definitely did better than expected, sitting at a 5-5 record of and second in the division. I think we've obviously met expectations and overachieved as well. I love what we have, as in Bo Nix. I think that was a beautiful move, a great move for our future. Raheem Sanders is honestly looking better than Jonathan Taylor this year. The receiving core is amazing. Maybe we move Cup this year, but we'll get to that. I mean, in the off season, but we'll get to that. But from the beginning expectations into what we have now, I'm actually really proud of this team. I think that offense that they just displayed, that we will talk about on Saturday, really just took them to the next level. I think they will make the playoffs this year and be a reason that a lot of playoff brackets get crushed. But let's look at this team. So starting at quarterback, Bo Nix. Once the Denver Broncos got Justin Fields from the Chicago Bears, they traded their number 1 overall pick for Justin Fields. That left Bo Nix without a team. 25 years old. He clearly wants to start. Rams picked up the phone. Bo Nix was available. And they got Bo Nix. I love that so far for them. A couple more years, I think he'll be able to get the ball out faster. I think that's the only thing that's holding him down. Sometimes it takes a little bit too long to get the ball out of his hands. But I love him for the Rams. At running back, I already talked about him, Raheem Sanders. That boy is shifty, honestly. I wish that the game that he played against the Jags was saved. Unfortunately, the head coach of the Jags told all his players to walk off the field, so we couldn't keep those stats. But he was balling. He was really dancing on the Jags defense, and he's been dancing on a lot of defenses all year. I look forward to him being upgrading to a superstar, and with the new incentives, maybe he'll be an X factor. Who knows? At tight end, Ricard and Sawyer. Honestly, I didn't see him. I don't see him using the tight end that much with his offense. I mean, Well, with his new offense, he does, but before he wasn't using them that often. But with his new bunch of offense that he's displaying, I look forward to maybe Sawyer getting some. Sawyer's starting to do some really incredible things for the rest of the season, being a huge player for them. Receiver wise, by the way, Sawyer is superstar, 22 years old. So a lot of young Titans are really doing their thing. As spoken before, receivers, Marvin Harrison. Drafted what 2 years ago, I think, 2024 draft. He's a dog, X Factor, 22 years old, 94 speed. And Puka, I would expect him to probably be a superstar by now, but the old head coach didn't really do a good job. Cooper Cup, I would trade him this offseason. Think you can get something. Probably a first round pick and a replacement. Probably more, especially for the playoff teams. I think you still want to get younger though. Although you're competing right now, you still think this is still a rebuild. Offensive line, they just picked up Ronnie Stanley from the Steelers. I like that move, but I kind of don't like that move. He is 31 years old. I think he's going to regress after this offseason. But for right now, that run game, I mean, he's a huge reason why this run game is working. Dotson, 28, 80 overall. And the rest of this is kind of average. But which is it's kind of okay. Just 70s. They can do their job. We don't see a lot of too great of an O line other than the Chiefs, so this works. Defensive line, nothing really pops out. Doris, 24 years old, 79 overall. Probably want to work on our defensive line generating pressure. We have a great offense, but defensively we do tend to give up. We do tend to gamble a little bit. I think we do that because we don't have enough pressure on his D line. So we have to gamble, blitz our safety, blitz our linebackers because we can't get pressure. So hopefully in free agency or during the draft we can get a pretty good D line. Speaking of linebackers, we did make one of the worst moves in franchise history by paying Josh Allen too much money. Fortunately, we still have to deal with that, but while he is here, we can try to squeeze all we can out of him. He even lost to Dev, so honestly, that move looks really bad on us. But we do have some speed on linebackers, which is very important in this league. And most importantly, Byron Young, 92 speed. That's probably a user. I would probably user him and let Josh Allen roam. Secondary, nothing too big, but Devin Harris. I talked to the head coach. He let me know that under no circumstances does he want Devin Harris to be moved. Superstar, 21 years old, 92 speed. But everyone else in the secondary is pretty much expendable. Look forward to getting a secondary. Probably the draft we have right now. We have 3 first-round picks, New England's, Pittsburgh's, and ours. So I think we'll definitely try to find something in the secondary. We also have $93 million in cap space, so free agency for all the top teams that are losing key players. We'll definitely be on the phone trying to bring them to Los Angeles. We have a bright future, and I think that any free agent would see us as a perfect destination. And that's all.
The end.
The end.
Vikings, your take?
I actually watched this team play today, and I was very impressed. They played the Colts, who's a staple in this league, and they played them really well. Had some unlucky fumbles, but I was going through this roster, and there's some ups and downs. They're about to have to pay Bo Nix Bo Nix is on the last year of his rookie contract, and as a superstar, he's going to command not an insane amount of money, but definitely a good bit. Um, it, he's kind of stuck with Mac Jones' contract right now, which is hurting him. Mac Jones is making, let's see here, is making 10 million over the every year for the next 3 years to just sit on the bench. So maybe he can find somebody to take Mac Jones. It's probably going to be pretty hard to find someone that wants a 26-year-old that's a 78 overall on that type of contract. I would say finding something to do with that contract should be a big priority for him this offseason. Raheem Sanders, as he's a dude. I mean, he's got a 23-year-old that's almost an 80, that is an 89 overall already, and he's still got him for, let's see, 3 years on only making $2 million a year. So that's a huge asset for him. Looking at his wide receivers, depth is a huge problem for him. He only has 4 wide receivers on his roster. Now, they're all pretty good. He struggled to develop Puka Nakua, which is a little bit surprising to me. His overall isn't that great. He's a 74 overall, and he's already 24. So if I were him, I would kind of try and move on from Puka. He's got 2 years left on his rookie deal. So for now, as a third receiver, he isn't the worst option in the world. But definitely would try and move on from him sometime soon. I would probably rather play Jalen Tolbert than Puka Nakua. But he's got Marvin Harrison, a 22-year-old X Factor, one of the best young receivers in the league, which can kind of be his Cooper Kupp replacement. Because Cooper Kupp, he's 32, and while he's not really killing them contract-wise, he's not going to be a great person moving forward. And I think there's some teams out there that would pay high value draft picks to have Cooper Kupp for a Super Bowl run. And I think he could go find some receivers in the draft that are a little bit younger, maybe a little bit faster than Cooper Kupp at this point in his career. A tight end, a superstar 22-year-old rookie. I mean, that's pretty nice. He's 86 speed, which is really good for a tight end. And 6'6", so he's a very valuable asset. I think he should look to develop him. His O-line was a little concerning to me. His left tackle is 28 and only a 75 overall. And he's on the last year of his deal. And his backup is also on the last year of his deal. So they're going to need a left tackle this offseason if they don't choose to re-sign either of those guys, which I don't think they should. So look maybe for a trade or take one in the draft, but they're going to need to fill a hole there at left tackle. At left guard, pretty underrated how bad this contract is. They got a 30-year-old left guard that's a 78 overall, making, let's see here. He's making $13 million, then $14 million, then $15 million over the next 3 years. And to pay a 78 overall 30-year-old guard that hurts. Definitely, it's going to be hard to move that contract. Nobody's going to want that contract. They might have to give up something just for someone to take that contract, or they're just going to have to ride it out. At center, they have Steve Avila. He's 25 and a 76 overall, but he's star dev. I think he's definitely viable for right now. When you look at some of the other holes that are on the offensive line, center isn't something you need to worry about. You kind of have to deal with Steve Avila, but at the same time, he's not the worst guy in the world to have to deal with. They have an okay right guard. He's making a good bit of money for his age and overall, but they're kind of set there. And Ronnie Stanley, I mean, not the greatest move in the world, but you got a 91 overall right tackle. He's a superstar. You can he's going to at least protect your quarterback while he's there. He might retire soon. That might be the best thing for him if he does choose to retire. The defensive line kind of scares me. They have a second-year defensive tackle named Brandon Dorius. That's a guy I would look to continue developing. But outside of him, also Kobe Turner is a guy I would look to continue developing. But as far as the second defensive tackle and the left end spot goes, he doesn't have much going for him. Jerry Tillery, he's almost 30 and he's only a 70 overall. Probably a hole that they want to fill. And maybe look at a defensive tackle in the draft. It's a pretty thin position as far as free agents or trades go, unless you want to spend big. So I would look towards the draft there. Obviously, the Colts hit on Josh Allen's contract. It's another bad contract you're probably going to end up having to just deal with. Also, at their cornerback position, I think a lot of these guys are going to kind of have to go. I think Kobe Durant is a guy that he should look to hold on to while and also Travius Hodges Tomlinson is viable. He's only 5'8", though, which kind of hurts him. But 96 speed, 99 excel. He could be kind of like a plug-and-play guy whenever you play someone with a really fast receiver. I think he should look to develop Emmett McDaniels, 96 speed, 94 excel. And he's 6'1" and only 23. That's the guy he should look to develop alongside Denver Harris. Sorry. But definitely Rasul Douglas, he's on the last year of his deal. Would probably look to let him walk with his age. Kobe Durant probably could do without. At free safety, it's a little concerning as well. There's not much going for him there, and they're paying John Johnson a lot of money with 85 speed, and that's not good for the program. There's a lot better players in the draft, so that's probably where I would look to go. And at strong safety, I mean, it also doesn't look very good for him. With three guys, and they're all old and not very good. But he's got, looking at his draft, he doesn't have a second or third rounder this year. So as far as getting someone in the draft, it's going to be a little tough outside of the first round pick. I would definitely look to try and move Cooper Kupp to try and get some of those draft picks back, whether you can get a first for him or a bunch of early mid-round picks. That's what I would kind of try to do. They have a great coach, so I don't think. I think he can win games no matter what the roster is. But there's a lot of holes here that need to be filled, and a lot of bad contracts that he's just got to deal with. So while I do really believe in this coach, he's got a lot of work to do as far as building a roster to eventually compete.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. The next team that we have on tap, the Arizona Cardinals, Mr. Magic Mike himself. Playoff team the first 2 seasons. This season, wow. Sitting at 5-6, like I said. Jets, Colts. Let us know what's going on with Mr. Mike in Arizona. We'll let the Jets go.
Oh, my bad. Wow, 5-6. Did not expect that after great season after great season for the first 2 seasons. Let's see what's going on here. Only got 11 mil in cap space right now. 11.2 million. We got Kyler Murray at quarterback, 84 overall, 28 years old. I mean, he's a good quarterback. Running back, they got old man Dalvin Cook. I traded him there. But he's 30 years old. I'd probably look into getting another running back. Tight end situation, beautiful. I love it. Trey McBride, dude's a beast. 25 years old, 89 speed. Wide receivers, you still got Hollywood, 92 overall, X Factor now, with 97 speed. Rondell Moore, 94 speed, 86 overall, but he's 25. And you got Chase Claypool, 27-year-old. He's 6'4", and MVS, who's also 6'4", but he's also 30. But it's a lot of speed. I'd probably try to get a younger, tall wide receiver in there instead of a Claypool or, Scantling, because they don't have. I mean, they basically, for their age, they've, reached their ceiling for the most part. O-line, I like their O-line because they got Cedric Van Pran. He's a center, 85 overall, and he's only 23. Right tackle, you got Paris Johnson, obviously. He's 24 and he's 83. Who else here? Yeah, about those, I'd probably say those three are my favorites. And then they got Christian Mahogany, left guard. He's 23. Maybe get a right guard, or move Connor Colby to right guard and start developing him. And get another left tackle instead of DJ Humphries, since he's 31. D line, I mean, a lot of youth. You got a 22-year-old right end, 22-year-old right end who I'd probably move to. 23-year-old. I'd probably move him to the left side so he gets more reps and he's not splitting reps with the other guy. But they're young on that front at least. They're 23, 22, 23, and so I'd probably just do what I was saying at the left end position. Linebackers, DJ Ojolari is a beast. Owen Popo, 94 overall. Not 94. 94 speed, excuse me. 81 overall. Middle linebacker. If you can just get him up there to where he gets lurker, it's going to be a problem. Zayden Collins, another decent outside linebacker. Shaq Thompson's playing the middle. I don't know what you can do much with Shaq Thompson at this age. He's 84 and he's only started up with 85 speed. Maybe you can get something. Let's see what else they got. They got Buda Baker, 94 overall, 29 years old, 91 speed. I can see why you don't trade him. Obviously, one of the best, safeties in the game. And they have Jalen Thompson. So they got a superstar and an X Factor duo back there. He's an X Factor. 27 years old, 91 speed. I love it. Travis Hunter, they drafted this year, which is great. 85 overall with 94 speed. Yeah, I like their roster for the most part. Uh, in my opinion, it's just maybe a off season for the Cardinals. Another off season. Uh, it's minor fixes. It's minor things that need to be fixed to make this roster a little better. But in my opinion, they can fix this. This is easily fixable, and I'm gonna hand it over to Coach to give you his side of it.
All right. So before the season, we just came off another embarrassing loss in the playoffs. Rumors had it that our team was hoping that we didn't face the 49ers in the second round. Fortunately we didn't, but unfortunately we ran into the Panthers, who did us dirty again. But our excuse, well, not our excuse, but something that we've been, kind of let go by. The reason we've been able to let it slide our losses is because we were told we were said to be a little bit too young. At this point in the season, before the season, I don't think that excuse was valid anymore. As a GM, I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting us to take a huge step this year. We lost to the Panthers. It was embarrassing. The 49ers they looked great last season. People were saying that they were pretenders, but they definitely took care of us when we played. So maybe we're looking at a 3 seed in the playoffs. But actually no, because we will lose our division. So maybe a 5 seed, 6 seed, 7 seed. But actually winning and making it all the way to the Super Bowl, I didn't think was possible. Maybe we could sneak into the NFC Championship game with the Panthers losing their head coach. But I just expected us to take another step developing our players. Maybe see Kyler Murray actually make a stamp on the league. We've seen him be a little bit too inconsistent for us to be true contenders. So our goals this year was to be like a 5 seed, 6 seed. If we could win a division, great. Make the NFC Championship game. But that was about it, and develop our players. As far as this season, it's kind of been okay. It's not kind of this season sucks for us. We started the season 0-2. I thought it was okay because we went up against two great teams, Saints and the Colts. We got 4 wins right after that, and including a comeback win, an impressive comeback win with a game-winning rushing touchdown against the Panthers. I thought we were back in business. Unfortunately, we lost 3 straight to the Commanders, Falcons, and Titans, and things started to look bad, especially with the 49ers killing it this year. They got a division on lock. So now we're fighting for a playoff position in the NFC that's gotten a lot better. So we still have to win a lot more games to actually clinch a playoff berth, with the Panthers and the Bears and the Lions still fighting for a playoff position. I'm only 1 game behind. So this season has been a failure so far, but we are in playoff position. Like I said, we needed a 5, 6, or 7. We still have a lot more time to grow, a lot more season left, but it's not what I expected. So let's look at this roster. First at quarterback, Kyler Murray. He's been way too inconsistent. Season 3, he was actually looking pretty well. Not an MVP candidate, but the Cardinals were on a roll. That their whole underdog story. I think at one point they were undefeated, like 9-0, 8-0, maybe. And I know they were like 10-1 before they lost to the Texans. Started a little downward spiral, but season 3 was definitely a success for Kyler Murray. Season 4, that's when we started seeing consistencies. I know it says 34 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, but the play was so inconsistent against good teams. And this season it's not okay at all. Let me look. I don't want to make his stats worse than what it is. 14 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. Not what you want from a guy. What the freak? Making 190 million in 4 seasons. In my opinion, I would try to move him. Wait, I'm the GM. My plan is to move him. Maybe get a draft pick, 84 overall, 28 years old. Not expecting too much. Not even a first round pick. Honestly, it's a lot of good quarterbacks in this league. Some good upcoming quarterbacks in the draft. I don't see a lot of teams budging, giving up a first round pick for him. But if we could get something for him, I would be happy. Since I have this up, I can look at what picks we have. Wow. So we actually don't have a first round pick, a second round pick, or a third round pick this year. So that puts us in an even worse position. So hopefully we could try to budge someone to get a first round pick for Kyler, but I doubt it. A third round pick, a second round pick, and maybe another young talent player could work. But just looking at, we don't have a draft pick. It really sucks. I don't know what we traded, but that sucks. Running back wise, Dalvin Cook, we saw them get a trade from the Jets like a season ago. I think it actually was season 3 when they were on a roll. I thought Dalvin Cook was going to kind of put them over the edge. They had a pretty balanced offense. Dalvin Cook was killing it. But it hasn't really worked out that way. From season 4 to season 5. If you look at the stats, Kyler Murray is second. That's not okay. We don't need him rushing the ball that much. He's been scrambling a lot, making some bad decisions. We need a new running back. We have Kene, 94 speed, but I'm thinking a little bit more younger. A guy who can hopefully get a depth for us. A shifty guy, a guy that can put pressure on the defense. Dalvin Cook is good and all, but 89 speed, you're not really breaking away that much. Not a lot of breakaway touchdowns. Tight end wise, as the Jets said, I love the tight ends. I tried to, well, rumors have it that the Colts were trying to get Trey McBride. That didn't fall through. Smart by us, because Trey McBride is definitely a great player. Can make some fabulous catches. If you watch the Panthers game, he made a very big catch against a very clutch catch against the Panthers to put them in even closer position for that game-winning touchdown. So I love that tight end. Wide receiver-wise, a lot of speed, which is really good in this league. Marquise Brown, 97 speed, 28 years old, 92 overall X factor. I just mentioned that we don't have any picks. I would move Marquise Brown in the offseason. Try to get a pick. I think you can definitely get a pick. I think you can get a pick and maybe two key role players on the offense or defense. I would probably look more toward offense, see if I could get sneak in a running back, Rondell Moore. Rumors have it that he was on the block before the trade deadline, so maybe we pull the trigger on him in the offseason as well. 94 speed, 93 catching. So 93 catching for both Brown and Moore is really great. Catching in this year's Madden honestly really is a big difference. Chase Claypool, we signed him in free agency, I think last season. He also has 91 catching, 93 speed, can make some clutch catches. I don't really see any team pulling the trigger for him, so maybe we keep him. He does have good speed. Marquise Scantling, 94 speed, 77 overall. I would say that I want us to get a wide receiver in the draft, but we don't have a pick until the 4th round. So maybe we can make some moves, clear up some money, and get a wide receiver in free agency. Offensive line, I like Cedric Van Pran, 23 years old, 85 overall. It's really hard to get O-line in this year's Madden to actually develop, but he was our first-round pick in 2024. So that's a huge reason why he has a high overall. Harris, 83 overall, 24 years old. So we have two really good O-linemen. DJ Humphries, this is a problem here. He's the huge reason why we don't have a lot of money left. Only 81 overall and 31 years old. Making 26 mil. Hopefully we can try to move that contract, but he's a huge reason why our money is the way it is. Christian, 78 overall, 23 years old. So like I said, have some pretty good young, talented offensive linemen. Really proud of that. Maybe we could get a right guard in the offseason, free agency, last minute, see if we can get somebody in the 70s, low 80s. Defensive line, Stackhouse, really wanted more from him. We haven't really been able to generate a lot of pressure this year. We expected a lot more out of them. Our defense has really took a back seat this year, and it has for the past couple of years. Season 3, we're doing a pretty good job. Season 4, first beginning, we were showing more of a bend but don't break type of defense, but in the end zone, we definitely had some lockdown defense. But recently, our defense has not done what we expected them to do. But this is the young team. I know I said we don't want to use that excuse, but we do need time to develop these guys. Look at them, 23 years old, 22 years old, 23 years old. We definitely need to develop these guys, and if we do, we can really do some work on this generating pressure. Linebacker-wise, Shaq Thompson, we've seen him on the Panthers. I'm not really sure why we picked him up other than mentorship for the young guys. But our focus is definitely I'm not saying his last name, Owen and BJ. Owen is 94 speed, X Factor, 81 overall. I'm looking for him to really lead our defense. I think the linebacker is probably most important, one of the most important positions in this league. 94 speed is incredible. If we could get Lurker on him, that would be even better. BJ, 88 speed, 23 years old. Maybe we can get him to superstar and have him roaming while we use our Owen. Secondary, Buda Baker. I would have moved him before the trade deadline. I think there's a lot of value in a safety, especially for a contending team. Look at the 49ers, went to go get Tre'Davious White. Really improves that defense, makes it harder to pass on them. I'm not sure what they would have given, but they've done a great job getting draft picks. Maybe you could get a draft pick from them and some more guys that maybe that's under contract this year. Jalen Thompson, 27 years old, X Factor. Wow. So that's very impressive. We have two safeties, two safeties that's X factor, one that's superstar is incredible. Depending on what abilities you put on them, that could have been a crazy duo, which kind of hurts, which kind of makes us wonder why our defense isn't that good. Other than generating pressure, I think our secondary is pretty good right now. Speaking of our secondary being pretty good, right now we got Travis Hunter. We traded up in the draft, well, before the draft to ensure that we could get Travis Hunter with our second overall pick. A superstar, 94 speed. I expect him to be one of the best. I say top 7, top 5 cornerbacks in the league in 2 years. I see a lot of speed. Calvin Joseph, 94 speed. James Pierre, 93 speed. A pretty good secondary. I think if we could get another cornerback, another explosive cornerback, another superstar cornerback, our secondary would be even better. But I think our focus should be that defensive line, getting Kyler Murray somewhere else. Because we only have 11 million in cap space. Kyler's taking 40. Oh snap! Wait. Kyler has a 190 million salary. DJ Humphries, as I mentioned, 22 mil. Buda Baker, 31. So I would definitely move Buda. I would definitely try to move Kyler. Maybe Marquise Brown, as I mentioned. I doubt there's room for Dalvin Cook elsewhere. So my focus would be Kyler Murray, Buda Baker, and Marquise Brown. Maybe I could get a draft pick because we don't have many. But I think it's tough for Arizona right now. As you saw, Kyler Murray tweeted, keep that same energy. For right now, I got to keep that same energy because the division, the Rams are climbing. The 49ers are on top. There is hope for the Cardinals, but I don't see them contending. I think this offseason should be about getting a young quarterback and making sure we can get a defensive line in the draft.
All right. That does it for the Cardinals. Moving on to Seattle. We got Buffalo that finally got out of the traffic, was able to join us. Better late than never. So we'll let him kick off the Seahawks. And then we'll have the Jets follow up.
Let Jets start. Let me do my research.
Okay. So we'll have the Jets kick it off.
Oh shoot! Give me a second. I gotta get on their page on Neon. I'm on Neon, but I just gotta get to the Seahawks. I
All right.
apologize.
While we wait for that, quick little announcement. We are going to
Mm-hmm.
be issuing these X factors and all that stuff immediately. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to get posted, and I don't want to spend an entire 6 hours doing that in one day. So expect your players once posted. If you guys do not have photos on there for individual players, like it's requested, I'm gonna delete that post. If there's names in there with just saying X Factor player person, that stuff is getting deleted. If you're not posting individual offensive linemen and you just posted the entire O line that you have, that's getting deleted. Specific players, and then whatever incentive you
I
want
got you,
added.
bro. I
I'm
go.
good. I'm good too. So it's up
All
to
right,
you.
I go
so
first.
we'll let you guys kick it
Yeah,
off.
go ahead, man. Yeah, you go ahead, man.
So look at the Seahawks roster. This is one of the guys who might be in the sweet state for Josh Allen. I like what he's doing with, I like the roster. Like, I'm the GM. I like the roster. I'm trying to figure out why we only got 3 wins. Word on the street is he don't like the Caleb Williams. So I would call the Buffalo Bills and see what's up with Josh Allen. He has 2 dynamic running backs with Kenneth Walker and Zach. I ain't finna mess that name. I don't do my coach right there. but he got thunder and lightning. So I don't know what's going on with that. He got two decent tight ends. Actually, he got three. Now the wide receiver room is light there. You know, they look like they. And I'm a football coach. This is a 12 personnel team right there, or 13 personnel. It look like it's like a run. We don't run, and then we don't throw the ball to Waddle and lock it. But that's all he got. You don't have three receivers. I definitely go get me another receiver because Lockett is getting older. You know, he's 32 and he don't lost his step. As far as the O line, like I said, this team is not a bad. He got 281s with Cross and Lucas. He got a 76 right tackle. He got all the right tackles in the world. You just gotta change their positions. Um, this D line's not bad. Just looking at it, it's not bad. The linebacker core is young. I don't know what's going on right there, but you know, you got Jamal Adams, the in the secondary, the prototypical sub linebacker right there. Then you got JC, you know, you got wow. He has pieces. You got JC Horns at X Factor, he got Woolen at a star, he got Diz at a star, he got Sonny Styles at a star. He has a lot of talent. So it's a lot of trade bait because you got young talent and you got stuff that people were willing to trade for. But he really need to probably talk to me about Caleb Williams though. But now if I was here, I would. If I can't get it going with Caleb. I'll move it and try to go get me a young quarterback or something. Like we got to figure that out. But I don't know what's going on with this team. He got to get more receivers. He only got 3. Go ahead, Jets.
All right. So we're talking about Caleb Williams just a second ago, right? Caleb Williams, stats this year: 20 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. Last year, 28 touchdowns, 31 interceptions in his rookie season. It seems like he's got he's got the intangibles to be the quarterback. You know, he's got the throw power. He's got your deep accuracy, your medium, and short. I honestly don't think that's the issue. I don't think Caleb Williams is the issue in this roster. I mean, like the Lion said, need receivers. Your only receiver that you really have is Lockett and Jalen Waddle. You need someone younger, especially because Tyler Lockett's 32. You need depth. You need some receiver depth in that receiver room. That's one thing I will say that you need. O-line, I love it. A lot of youth. Move them around and figure out where some of those guys can go. He's got like three right tackles. So he needs to figure out where they can go. D line is decent. Needs a little bit of building up, of course. Linebacking core, I love it. Love Boye Mafe, even though he's only a 74, but he's got 87 speed. A lot of speed in the linebacking core, I might add. A lot of 84, 86, 87, 87. Secondary, I mean, that's a disgusting secondary to face. Especially when you got to face J.C. Horn and Tariq Woolen at corner. That is just not fun. And even Sonny Styles, too. He's 6'4" as well. I mean, he's a safety. So I'm guessing they're probably going to maybe move Adams within, the next year. Or if his contract's expiring, they're going to let him go. And they're going to let Sonny Styles get that safety spot from now on. He's 6'4". I mean, if you're not, training him in the background, then I don't know what you're doing because that's just a monster right there. I like this team overall, but it's the little things they gotta fix. It's little things. Wide receiver room needs to be fixed. I mean, maybe get another tight end. I don't know how he plays with this tight end. Maybe get Eric Ali's 6'5", 24 years old. So I mean, I like this roster. You know, they just need to get another. We said it. Get another receiver. That'll definitely be like very helpful to their cause. If you
And not
don't,
to interrupt you, do you think he should get like 2 receivers because he really don't? He got one person stretch the field, and the other person just look like they're running routes. Correct?
yeah, I actually agree with you because what it looks like from what I'm seeing on this depth chart, at least from what I'm looking at on Neon, he basically only has 2 outside guys. Need a slot guy, and you gotta have a
Exactly.
slot. He needs a slot guy, somebody that
So he look like he running a wing T. It look like a wing T offense he has.
Yeah, it's not an offense that I don't think is that explains the 3-7 in my opinion. He needs 2 receivers if I'm being honest. Like you just said, get 2 more receivers because you need guys behind Waddle so that they can literally just put one guy on Waddle, and Waddle was basically neutralized because there's no second option really. I mean, Lockett's okay, but he's old and he's only got 88 speed. So yeah, to your point, yeah, he's gonna need some more receivers. But that's why they're 3-7, and that's why Caleb. I don't think it's Caleb's fault. I think it's just the fact he doesn't have the help when it comes to receivers. And we were talking about the two-headed monster in Charbonnet. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs on your roster. I don't think you need that many running backs unless Kenneth Walker's got unless he's got like an injury history or something. Then you would need that's maybe a third or 2 or 3 running backs is good, but that's also something I'd address. Having 5 running backs is a little bit ludicrous to me. That's all I really got to say about this roster. Hopefully they can fix it up in the off season, through the draft and through free agency though. I mean, they have 56 million in cap, so that's also helpful to bolstering their roster a little bit.
I want to add something. This is going to be a really important free agency for them. Jalen Waddle is a free agent. J.C. Horn is a free agent. Kenneth Walker is a free agent. Tariq Woolen is a free agent. But I also wonder why they didn't let go of Geno Smith. You just talked about 56 million in cap space. They're paying Geno Smith 48 mil. I don't like that move there, especially when you have a franchise. Well, he's supposed to be a franchise quarterback in Caleb Williams. That's unnecessary money right there. I would probably try to move Tyler Lockett, but like I just said, is he? Yeah, he's a free agent, so I'll just let him walk. But when you look at this division, 49ers, Rams, Cardinals, you're not competing right now. So I would focus on doing something to help Caleb Williams because he's looking like a bust. Maybe run the ball more. I like Kenneth Walker. I would love him to get more touches. Probably build an offense, sort of like the Patriots, a single back offense where you're always a threat to run, threat to pass, take the pressure off of Caleb. But like the Bills said, they don't have any receivers. You need receivers to get open to help Caleb Williams. I think we saw Geno Smith take snaps at wide receiver, if I'm not mistaken. That's not okay. Like you clearly have a wide receiver problem. You got to go fix that. But I do think that the head coach, his offense is pretty. I like his offense. Like when he played the Colts, he did do some work against the Colts. It's just sometimes he just makes some bad reads. Caleb just needs to calm down. Maybe Gino being a backup has something to do with it. Maybe he felt pressured that if he made a mistake, he was gonna get replaced. But I think that the future is bright. I don't think that this thing is shit. Okay, can I talk? Maybe not. but I don't think the ship has sank. Um, I just think it's tough because the pressure on Caleb and the pressure that this division holds with teams like the Rams and the Cardinals and the 49ers makes it even tougher. It makes things look even worse than what it is. But we knew it was a rebuild, and hopefully, like I continue to mention, these top teams are going to lose some key players, and I think teams like the Seahawks will be able to benefit from it.
I completely agree with that. I don't think Caleb is the problem. I mean, being a rookie and all, he uh
Oh, what the hell?
he should be good to go. But the big lack of production that they're getting is because they have no wide receivers. You said they got Waddle that's about to be expiring with his contract. You know he's gonna take a big chunk of that 56 point mil that he's got. So the question lies: all right, do we need one player or do we need three good players for the same price? So attacking free agency, obviously the draft is gonna be a key spot for them. Not sure if they're willing to trade that first round pick that they have, but if they do, they can get some good picks because they are in the top 7. So with the Rams, I'm surprised with them. They're doing a hell of a job out there. Potentially a playoff team, but right now they're in a bubble with I think 5 teams that are locked in with the same record. So from this point forward, if the Rams schedule favors them, they'll make the playoffs. If not, then next year for sure they're gonna start off strong. Magic Mike and the Cardinals, bro. I don't know what happened. I know you took a couple forced losses that were out of your control, but even at that, you dropped a few games that were basically easy wins for you. That normally any other year you would have crushed them. So inconsistent play from the Arizona Cardinals is was keeping them down. If this is a down year, I would just say, hey, automatically look for next year. Don't even bother doing a playoff push because all you're gonna do is hurt your draft capital. So if you don't feel confident with that team right now, hey, you know what? Let me start my backups. Let me get them some play time, and let's look forward to next season. Let's get ourselves a couple more wins, but at the same time, let's not mess up our draft stock by trying to make it to the playoffs, not making it, and then now you got a high draft pick, so you lose on both on the season and off the season.
Hey,
I would like
Bear.
to say something. They don't.
Hey, I got a question real quick because I'm confused about the X Factor
Wait,
thing.
wait, wait,
Hold
wait.
on, hold on, hold
We
on.
have
We
to
don't
talk
we don't
about
do
that.
it right now.
Okay,
We're live on broadcast.
okay.
All
All
right,
right.
you good. But the Cardinals, they don't have a pick until the 4th round, so they have to try to do something this year.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they traded. Oh yeah, they did. It was that trade for the when they traded up for the second overall pick. So I'm guessing the Buccaneers have their pick, but they don't have a pick to the 4th round, so they have to try to win or do something.
All right, so I guess I got to play the role of spoiler then. Spoil not only other people's seasons, but the Tampa Bay's chance to getting a top pick. So they get to bang bang. With that being said, anybody here have anything else to add for any teams that didn't get a chance to commentate?
Nah, man. I mean, I'll add one thing. I like that Rams roster. That McDaniel's guy was a steal. I mean, I know I keep saying it because I mean, dude was like I think he was like a 6th round pick if I'm being correct. I think he's a late round pick though, and seeing what he has turned into is really cool. I mean, I would have traded Cooper Cup maybe a while back, like Colt said. I definitely would have traded him a while back. You know, I like their team though. I like where the direction that they're heading in. You know, they played a great game as we talked about earlier. But I like their direction, and I can really see the Rams being a team that we're gonna have to keep our eyes on.
Okay. As Outcast finally shows up to one of our streams and says, "Hype it up, Mister
It was
Drink It
Emmett
Up."
McDaniel's. That's what I was talking about. 6'1". He's only normal depth, but he's been playing like lights out this year. So I'm hoping, for his sake, he gets a dev up, in the around the Pro Bowl time.
Yeah, hopefully. All right. Well, an hour and 22 minutes. Not that bad for this one. I don't think any of those are going to compare to the first one that we did, which was 2 hours and what was it? 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we're getting a lot better by an hour. Tomorrow, like I said, we're gonna have the AFC North, NFC North. AFC North show's gonna start at 1 p.m. and then the NFC show will begin roughly about the same time. So once again, Jets, Vikings, Bills, Colts. Thank you guys for stopping by, doing this show with us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got out of traffic.
Yeah, I know, right?
He got out of
Also,
there. Let's go.
once it hits 1/1/24, we will be doing daily podcasts. We're gonna be having an early show, time to be determined. It'll be every single day, 7 days a week. So you guys get to hear everything that's going on in the league, predictions, matchups, post game recaps, tweets. Now that we have that in place,
The morning podcast, baby.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of things out there. So be ready for
On the
that.
morning podcast.
We're also gonna be touching base on our new league that we have, which is the Sim Money League. You guys did not see that message that went out. If you guys join that league, it's a $20 buy-in. That $20 buy-in will give you 3 X Factors for 3 seasons in a row, including this one being one. So you get 1 X Factor this year, 1 X Factor next
Holy.
draft, and another X Factor the year after. So it's a good price because if you don't want to take that route, you pay $10 per X Factor per season. So you're saving $10 there. But yeah, thank you guys all for showing support on our videos, keeping it rolling. This is why we're doing what we're doing now. We're gonna give you guys a Pat McAfee type of experience once we get our podcast rolling every single day. Webcams will be put in place, so it'll be exactly like Pat McAfee's show, and we're gonna try to have as many guests as we can. So if you guys want to tune in for that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you guys can be alerted whenever we go live. And yeah, appreciate the viewership. And until tomorrow, thank you for watching. We out.